The Walt Disney Company, more commonly known as Disney, originally founded in 1923 by the Disney brothers Walt and Roy O., started with animation and the creation of Mickey Mouse, who is one of the world's most recognizable characters. Disney has now diversified into live-action film production, television, and theme parks. Disney is known for its family-oriented brand and different film studio divisions such as Marvel, Pixar, and Lucasfilms. Other than the film studio division, the other division is the Disney Parks, and Disney also owns and runs ABC Broadcast Network and TV networks such as ESPN, Freeform, and Disney Channel. Disney's opportunity space was that in 1928 Steamboat Willie was released, and although it wasn't the first animated short film, it was the first animated short film that had synchronized sounds. After that, Disney continued to innovate and push the boundaries by then releasing the first feature-length animated film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This is where Disney is seen to be first showing that they are willing to push the boundary of what people want and what people want to see. Then they went into different live action movies and then theme parks, and because people wanted a family-oriented space. Now Disney in the 21st century is still pushing that boundary by competing with media giants like Netflix and creating its own streaming service. So that is Disney's opportunity space.
Disney's value of use is probably one of its best values. The customers have so many great things to say. Disney is known as like the happiest place on earth. I think that Disney reached this status because of some of the steps they've taken. First of all, their employees are some of the best employees there are around. The employees have to keep up their training so they're able to answer and help out the customers in any way possible. I'm pretty sure they have to go through new training like every year. Another thing that Disney does is they spend so much money to keep the parks organized, clean, safe. They're also very entertainable to anyone, any age. There's something to do for kids, there's something to do adults. I think Disney does a very good job of having that variety so they can accommodate everyone for family vacations or any reason to go to Disney.
With Disneyland being dedicated to showing people the happiest place on Earth, they have a lot of different attractions that appeal to all ages, so their value in exchange is fairly high. Many people are satisfied with their experience at Disneyland, but there are a couple complaints about spending too much time waiting in lines. To avoid the lines, you have the option to purchase the Max Pass or the Park Hopper Pass. The Max Pass helps you skip lines, and the Park Hopper Pass lets you book a ride in advance. The Max Pass is $15 more than the regular pass, and the Park Hopper Pass is $50 more. But these passes will definitely enhance your experience at Disneyland. When you're looking at competing companies like SeaWorld and Universal Studios, they're slightly less expensive. On average, Disneyland is $129, Universal Studios is $114, and SeaWorld is $92. Though Disneyland is more expensive, people seeking the family experience would rather go to Disneyland than competing amusement parks. With the optional add-ons, the exchange between customers and Disney itself is fair because Disney is making more money and the customers are getting a better experience. In conclusion, there were a few downfalls to the Disneyland park when it came to the customer satisfaction, but these can be avoided with the extra add-ons. And after all, Disneyland is the happiest place on earth.
Value and distribution. Disney is a multinational mass media and entertainment company. To capitalize on today's rapidly changing media landscape and more closely align with Disney's priorities for future growth, including creating high-quality content, technological innovation, global expansion, and direct-to-consumer distribution, the Walt Disney Company announced the strategic reorganization of its businesses into 4 segments: the newly formed direct-to-consumer and international, the combined parks, experiences, and consumer products, media networks, and studio entertainment. Disney's management of global advertising sales for Disney media properties include ESPN, ABC, Freeform, and the Disney channels will move from media networks into direct-to-consumer and international segment, giving advertisers a one-stop shop for reaching audiences across all of Disney's media properties, including its online and direct-to-consumer platform. The company's international channels, including the international Disney channels, will also be consolidated into the new business segment. Disney's worldwide consumer products business will be merged with Walt Disney's parks and resorts. Disney's global consumer products operations include the world-leading licensing business across toys, apparel, home goods, and digital games and apps. The world's largest children's publisher, Disney's store locations across the world on the Shop Disney e-commerce platform. By uniting Disney's consumer products business and Disney Parks robust retail and e-commerce operations, the company will be able to share resources and best practices, provide consumers with comparable branded products and retail experience that only Disney can create. The Walt Disney Company, together with its subsidiary, is a diverse worldwide entertainment company with operation in 4 business segments, being media networks, studio entertainment, direct-to-consumer, international, and parks experience and consumer products. Disney has a strong presence in distributing their products and continue to find ways to make distribution to customers better. Value in finance. Disney's financial performance comes mostly from parks, experiences, and consumer products. Media networks, studio entertainment, direct-to-consumer, and international, with $6,527 million come from parks, experiences, and consumer products. This is Disney's major revenue stream, and media networks is close second with $5,555 million revenue. Studio entertainment has the most growth, with 27% growth from $1,824 million to $2,509 million a year. Direct-to-consumer has the smallest growth, with it being $918 million to $931 million growth. Diluted earnings per share for the quarter decreased 36% to $1.86 from $2.91 in the prior year. After a solid first quarter with diluted EPS of $1.86, we look forward for the transfer year ahead, including the successful completion of our 21st Century Fox and the launch of our Disney Plus streaming service, said Robert A. Iger, from Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Walt Disney Company. Equity in the income investees increased from $159 million in the prior year to $179 million in the current year due to higher income from AT&T Network, A&E television networks, driven by lower marketing and programming costs. A net benefit of $7 million in the prior year quarter was reported in cost expenses. Benefit in the core was due to expected return on plan access, particularly offset by interest expense on plan liabilities and authorization of prior net actual losses. Disney is strong in the financial ability and will continue to grow in the future.
Disney's value of fitness is very promising. They're supposed to grow a significant amount by 2024, and this is because of Disney Plus. Disney Plus is kind of like Hulu, Netflix, any of that, but it's just Disney movies, and there's also Marvel, and there's also Pixar movies. So there can be something for everyone, not just kids. It's cheap. It's like $7 per month, which is cheaper than Netflix, Hulu, and HBO. This is also supposed to increase their stocks. Also, Disney is spending money right now updating their parks. They also added a park in Shanghai, which they made a lot of money off of. At the end of this year, they're releasing Frozen 2 and Star Wars 1X, so that is going to be a big money maker for the company too. They're constantly adding updates, and I think that Disney is a good company to invest in because of how much they're supposed to grow and how much they're spending, and they're supposed to make a lot more out of what they're spending. So I think that's a good reason that Disney value of fitness is a very successful value.
For the governance section of Disney, they actually have a 25-page standards guide that they give out to all their new employees, which they call cast members. But also, for every specific division, they have other rules and regulations that they have to follow. For example, in the parks, the cast members who are dressed up as characters are not allowed to speak or pretend to be or be themselves. They have to pretend to be in character the entire time. Alongside with that, they can't tell anybody anything. No friends or family are supposed to know which character they're going to be or where they're going to be at. They aren't allowed to take pictures at all backstage of anything that goes on, just to preserve more of the magic. And they have a very strict appearance policy and guidelines as well with all of that. And that's pretty much it for the governance section there. As a whole, the whole conglomerate, there's the main standards guide, but then each individual division has their own things that are specific for them as well.